Hi, Laura Aldrich here. Welcome to Chattanooga Valley Elementary School's Data Overview. This particular presentation has four specific purposes. The first purpose is to share demographic information about the student body of Chattanooga Valley Elementary School. The second purpose of this data overview is to give you a visualization of the past 4 years of data related to the milestones in English Language Arts for specifically 5th grade. Purpose number 3 is to pinpoint specific ELA strengths and weaknesses by the domains. The fourth purpose and the final purpose is to provide observations and questions that may lead to potential dialogue in the future of how we can build on our strengths and make our weaknesses stronger. Let's take a closer look at some enrollment data from Chattanooga Valley. Enrollment overall for Chattanooga Valley Elementary School has declined greatly, as seen by this graph. In 2013-2014, we had some of our highest numbers of enrollment at nearly 550 students. In 2018-2019, we had right at 517 students. That is a significant decline in school enrollment. Even though enrollment has decreased, the ratio from female to male students has stayed pretty steady over the past several years. We still have a significant amount of males over females in our student population. Likewise, the trend with students with disabilities as compared to students without disabilities has also maintained at a very similar level. However, in 2016-17, we did increase to about 100 students who we serve with disabilities, and that particular number has stayed strong for the past 3 years. Chattanooga Valley has seen an increase in the amount of economically disadvantaged students compared to non-economically disadvantaged students. In 2015-16, there were 294 students who qualified as economically disadvantaged, and this past year in 2018-19, that number jumped to 330 students. That is significant when you compare it to the 187 students who do not qualify. Student ethnicities represented in 2017-2018 are primarily white students. 88% of the student population is white, with 3% representing Black or African American students, 4% representing Hispanic, Latino, Latina students, and 5% representing 2 or more races. This 4-year graph collection starting in 2015 and ending in 2019 is pretty clear that the majority of students represented by race and ethnicity at Chattanooga Valley are white, with the secondary race being represented as 2 or more races and the third as Black or African American. Next, let's explore the data related to student attendance. School enrollment at CVE has decreased dramatically over the course of the past 6 years. Beginning in 2013-2014 school year, there were 547 students enrolled, leading down to 2018-19 school year with 517 students enrolled. This is a significant decrease in school enrollment overall. This graph shows the average daily attendance for the past 5 years. In 2013-14, the average daily attendance percentage was 91.77%. That decreased in the 2017-18 school year to 86.46%, showing a marked decrease in average daily attendance for the students enrolled. This graph gives a visualization of the absentee counts drilled down to the 2017-18 5th grade attendance. There is a significant amount of student groups who miss 6 or more days in the 2017-18 school year. Absenteeism certainly is one of the weaknesses that we need to question and investigate further. Let's look next at the 5th grade end of grade contents for English Language Arts. Overall, it is a celebration to see that the progress for the end of grade test for ELA in 5th grade has increased significantly from the 2014 test results at 72.89 of progress score to the 17-18 school year at 94.93 progress score. This graph shows the percent of students at or above the proficiency level on the end of grade ELA assessment, where we are proud of the increase from 39.03% in 2014-15 to 54.40% in 2017-18. We cannot forget the inverse of that there are still nearly half of our students who need to improve. This graph shows the achievement level for 5th grade according to the growth percentiles. The student growth percentiles show that in 2014-15, we had a high growth of 22% of students. And in the 17 and 18 year, we showed a high growth of 33% of students. While we can celebrate the high growth for student growth percentiles, we still need to be mindful of the fact that the students who represent low growth are still at 20% in the 2017-18 achievement levels. So far, we've looked at student achievement according to a cut score on the end of grade ELA test. Students are also measured on the Lexile band. Lexile is a reading comprehension measure that can be given to students that equates to a grade level score and a college and career ready stretch band. For 5th grade, the College and Career Ready Stretch Lexile band is a range that goes from 830 Lexile to 1010 Lexile. It is interesting to note that a student can score a proficiency level or an achievement level of 2 and still receive a plus on the Lexile score, indicating that the student may have achieved a level 2 on the test as far as the cut score is concerned, but proved that they are able to read in the College and Career Ready stretch band for 5th grade. Students who score a 2+ are not required to retake the exam in the spring. Interesting. This particular graph shows the Lexile stretch bands from 2014 to the 2018 school years. As you can see, there has been a significant increase of students who score above the stretch band. However, students scoring within the stretch band has decreased, where the students scoring below the stretch band has remained consistent over the past 4 years. It begs the question, how are we meeting that particular group of learners' needs for reading, and what learners are inside those groups? When we drill down even further into that 21 representation of students in 2017-2018 who did not meet the Lexile band or are below the Lexile band, we find that 15 of those students represented are students with disabilities. And of those 15 students that are represented, half of them are below the stretch band. So a possibility of a conclusion could be that we need to look specifically at how we are meeting the needs of these diverse learners and what kinds of differentiation strategies we're using that we could possibly use with these students that are successful in the other students that we're serving. If we're seeing success in other groups of students, then why are we not seeing success in this group of students? So what kind of strengths does the data tell us that we have at CVE? Some could look at the decrease in enrollment at Chattanooga Valley Elementary School and see a red flag. I look at it and I see smaller class sizes. Smaller class sizes equal a smaller ratio between teachers and students, giving teachers a chance to really drill down into what their students need. CVE also has a trend in reading growth. The data supports that Chattanooga Valley Elementary School does have a significant amount of students reading at or above grade level in the target area for the end of grade test for 5th grade. But even when compared with the system of Walker County and with the state, we have 60% of students who meet or exceed that 5th grade target level. What does the data tell us about our weaknesses? One weakness CVE is enduring is the attendance issue. We must address the attendance problem head-on and quickly in order to increase our attendance across our student body. Despite the growth that we have had in ELA in regards to Lexile scores, we still have a significant number of below proficient students that must be addressed, specifically students with disabilities. Let's look at some questions that could lead to some potential dialogue in regards to our strengths and weaknesses. How can we improve attendance? What research can we conduct to find culturally proficient attendance strategies? Lastly, here are some suggested next steps. After answering the questions and having some specific dialogue, build an action plan with steps that can be made using SMART goals for teachers and students. Include culturally relevant responses in the action plan to build positive school attendance for students, families, teachers, and all stakeholders. Also include in the action plan specific reading strategies for planning instruction when working with students with disabilities. This has been Chattanooga Valley Elementary School's Data Overview as presented by Laura Aldridge.